Hey guys, it's been about 2 weeks since last round of Top Drift in LA, and I decided to share with my amazing experience there. So I jumped into my E30 and I went for a ride, picked a good spot, and yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so first thing first, we had to get up early in the morning because I live in San Francisco and we have to drive all the way to LA. So the whole team, my girlfriend, my brother and I jumped into the truck and just drove there. We arrived really early because we didn't know how the traffic is going to be or how things are going to go. People started showing up, we unloaded the car, we were waiting for Just Drift people. Just Drift is the organization that organizes it. So we were waiting for them to come and tech my car. We passed tech and we got the amazing stickers that we put on the car. Shit, I fucked it up. I fucked it up. So easy. My car just will never look good.
No.
And because stickers is very important, right? That's why you go there, to get the stickers and come back home and just be like the coolest guy here, you know? So we got the stickers, which was pretty excited. Then we went to a driver's meeting, and I mean, it was pretty standard driver meeting at any drift event. You go there, they explain the safety, they explain how the track is gonna go.
What do you think of the layout?
I think it's really sketchy, especially that part over there. Like you have to come up fast to make the line there, you know, to drag the bumper on the wall that way. And you have to pick up speed, you have to accelerate going towards the wall and then just somehow not hit the wall, which I'm not very good at. I'm really good at picking up speed and hitting the wall.
Okay.
So it's very interesting, but I mean, I'm here to learn, so it's very...
And not ruin the car.
Not ruin the car, very important.
We have an amazing, beautiful new body kit. Let's
Yes.
keep it that way.
Yeah, thanks Fitman Lab again for the body kit. This is the gate that they were... So this gate apparently sometimes opens, and imagine if you're like driving, like, the gate just opens and you're like, oh shit! So this was a very big learning experience for me because there was a lot of new factors for me. For example, I never drifted on brand new tires. Believe it or not, this was my first time when I drifted on brand new tires. So going into the practice with new tires I was pretty excited, you know. And I took a gamble, and I'm going to talk about it later in the lessons I took away from this event. But I had this brand new Achilles 223 tires that I got on a big discount, and discount was there for a reason. But we put the brand new tires on, and I went for my practice runs, and they were pretty bad. Like the car felt very loose. I didn't feel like the car was gripping enough. I felt like the car just sliding, and I didn't have much control of how to stop the car sliding. And that didn't make me very comfortable. I didn't have enough confidence to drive the car the way I like driving the car. And from people who know me and who like seen me drift, they would tell you that I like to stay on gas. I like fast transitions and all this cool stuff, you know. And here I couldn't. So all the practice runs on the Achilles were very just plain bad. They were shitty. I was away from the wall. I was transitioning slow. I just couldn't get the tires to grip, and I was trying to air down the tires, and the tires were just, I don't know what was wrong with this. Maybe I got a bad batch or something, because Achilles are known for being a good tire, especially they are racing tires that people use in Formula D. They're very, very grippy, so I didn't have any doubts that they were going to be grippy, but they just weren't, you know. And I would air down the tires, and they would just chunk and fall apart. I would go for one run and come back, and big chunks full of tread would be missing, you know. So that was kind of hard. Plus, one good thing about all of this was because I guess I was sucking so bad that the judges felt like I need the most help. So I was approached like numerous times by this awesome dude named Taka. He's an old FD guy, and he was amazing. He was trying to help me, and he was like, yo, you should push the wall. And I was like, I can't because my car slides too much. And he was like, well, use that to your advantage, start initiating earlier or stuff like that. But none of that worked. And to make things worse, one of the last, I think last 30 minutes of the practice on Friday, I was following this Camaro. I don't remember the guy's name, but I was following him, and I have this bad habit when I'm really close to someone and I'm following, and he's slowing down, I'm clutching in, pulling the e-brake and staying on the gas, like pretty much pinning, staying on the rev limiter, and when he starts going, I just let go the e-brake, let go the clutch, and I just like explode, like just catch up on him, you know. And I did the same thing about 2 months ago, and I broke the car. Both axle flanges snapped inside the diff, and as soon as I did it, I heard like a big hit in the back, and that's happened. And the car just, both flanges broke. Luckily, I had enough momentum to drive away from the track. Like the car just rolled, and I stopped right at the beginning of the track, so people have to push me out and stuff. But this is where the cool part of drift shows itself, you know. People saw that I broke, my car is broken, and luckily I had a buddy there, Rome. Shout out to Rome. Him and I spent like, I don't know, like an hour and a half just messaging everybody we know in this area, you know. And he called and messaged maybe like 10, 15 guys, and I called and messaged pretty much everybody I know. And luckily for me, Brendan from Beam Team, he lived pretty close, like about like an hour and a half, and he didn't only just sell me the part, he agreed to drive pretty much 60%, like more than halfway to meet me there, because he knew that, I mean, I bet he's been in a situation like this where you break something and you need help and you just don't have time to like drive all the way there. So he's awesome, and he drove halfway to meet me. He met me pretty much halfway, gave me the parts, and I had to drive back home. And it's a night event, so he met me there at about like 12:30 at night, and then I had to drive home and just shower, relax, and get ready for the next day. Okay, so even though Friday was pretty hard on me because I had to adjust to the car and to the new tire that I never drifted on, and we also had to go get the parts and then just get home and like try to get some rest. The Saturday started pretty good. We had a free breakfast from Holiday Inn, and they had a pool, and it was really, really hot. And I mean, it's summer here in San Francisco, but you can see I'm wearing a jacket, and it's pretty cold, and I'm actually kind of freezing, you know. But so being there, and it's like you wake up and it's like 85 degrees, and then like it's 11 o'clock and it's 95 degrees, was really awesome. My team and I, we just jumped into the pool that was there. We had an amazing morning, and after that we just packed our things and went to the track because we still had to fix the car. And yeah, we got there. First thing first, I pulled the diff out, I get the flanges out, I put the new parts in, slapped everything together, sealed the differential, and we had to wait some time for the seal to seal, and that was a really good time for me to think and reflect on what was happening. And the good thing is, except the Achilles were not the only tires that I had. They were new tires that nobody pretty much knows about. So I decided to buy a set of triangles. I had 2 triangle tires that I had just in case, and this just in case actually happened, you know. I went on one practice run with the Achilles the next day, and the car still, I just couldn't make the car grip up and drive the way I love driving it. And so we decided that we're going to put the triangles and do one practice run before qualify, and then qualify on the triangles, because honestly I didn't even think that I'm gonna qualify. So we thought, let's just put the good tires, the proven tires on the car, have one practice run, and go qualify.
Your headlights are off.
What? What? That explains everything.
Yeah. That's why you were like not doing, that's why the diff broke, I think.
Oh, headlights. Yeah. It's okay, I have my X-ray vision, you know, like. triangles gripped harder and were much better than the Achilles, but this one practice run was not enough for me to actually get used to the tire and to the track all over again, you know. So I went for my 2 qualifying runs. They were slightly better than my practice runs, but they were still far from I would consider a good qualifying run. But nevertheless, I qualified 12th out of 14. So I mean, I was happy that I didn't qualify last, but still I that wasn't like, even though I didn't hope I was going to qualify, qualifying only 12th was good. It was an achievement, but I couldn't wait to get into a tandem battles because the amount of drivers and the level that was there was pretty high. So my hands were itching to just start the competition. In top 16, I was matched against Zach, and he's a driver with a lot of experience. I remember seeing him at Winter Jam, so I knew he's a straight up dude and he's just gonna go for it, you know. And I knew I can throw hard behind him. And this is the thing about me, that every time I'm following, I always feel like I have to be on the door. I have to be there. I have to be there. I have to be there. And this is exactly what happened. I tried to be as close as I can behind him, right? So once he initiates, I'm right there. Because I honestly expected him to pull away. I expected, because I thought that my tires are shit, and I'm gonna like just, he's gonna pull away and it's not gonna be even fun, you know. As soon as he threw the car, I threw the car behind him and I stayed on gas. I was much closer than I expected to be. I was pretty much on his door the whole run. He pulled away just a little bit on the second bank, but and then at the end of the track, just a little bit, but I was pretty much really close. And that whole run gave me so much confidence, and I was so pumped, and adrenaline was there. It was pretty much like the shitty practice and the shitty qualify like didn't happen. I was excited, and I couldn't just wait to go and lead against him.
Good job!
So when I led, I don't know, he probably underestimated me, and which is, nobody knew that my competition runs would be much better than my practice and my qualifier runs, but he gave me too much space, and then that space did not decrease through the run, you know. So my lead run, I was much farther away. I think at some point I was like 2-3 cars away from him. But after the second turn, I made a mistake. I straightened for like a fraction of a second. So when we stopped and we were waiting for the judge's decision, I knew that if I get one more time, that would be a win, because I knew I messed up, and I knew I had a really solid follow run. So that in my head kind of equalized it, which exactly what happened. We went for one more time. His car broke, and it took his 5 minutes, and his team everybody got together and they fixed the car. And I was really happy, because at that point I couldn't wait to get back and just do exactly the same thing. go one more time, and he's leading, I'm on his door again, and I'm even closer everywhere. Like my transitions were like pretty much synchronized with his. I didn't make any mistakes. I knew the only thing I need to do is just throw a solid qualifying run in front of him, and I would get the win. I knew he's gonna give me less space because he's too experienced to make the same mistake twice, and that's exactly what happened. But nevertheless, I still pulled on him, and which was a big surprise for me and for all my team, you know. And I was so happy. My girlfriend put the camera in my face and recorded my first emotion. So enjoy.
How are you feeling?
I feel amazing, actually.
Good.
I enjoyed the drift so much.
Good.
You don't even know. I'm like, I already won. This is fucking awesome.
Go out there, fucking kill it. You're gonna do amazing.
Okay.
Go. I have like arthritis forever.
This is so cold, you guys. You don't even know. We were like, I was talking and I was like. Okay, so you can see shit, right? Because it's too dark. Back into the comfortable interior of the 30. The next guy that I had to face was Dominic Martinez, and Dominic Martinez is young but very talented driver with amazing car and amazing team. And seriously, at that point I was like, whatever. I didn't even think I'm gonna qualify. So as one of the camera guys that was mounting the camera in my car said, well, if you don't win, put down a good show. Knowing that Dominic's car is much faster than mine, I had a set of Hankook tires. They are takeoffs from one of the FD drivers. We put those on hoping that they would grip harder than the triangles. So we staged, and I was trying to stay as close as possible to Dominic. He still pulled away from me on the lead run. I tried to keep up, but it was just impossible. I was trying to run a shallow angle. I tried to cut the corners. I tried not to run on the bank. I was doing everything I can to stay close to him, and he was still pulling away. And that just tells you the amount of work and the amount of skill, the amount of work has been done on the car, and the amount of skill the driver has. You know, he has a great car and he knows how to use it. And he got his Pro 2 license, and he's gonna kill it in Pro 2. I can't wait to see him. But this is what happened. He had an amazing lead run, and now it was my turn to lead. So the Hankook tires that I thought are going to grip harder than the triangles, they did not grip. They were just old, and they were old tires that didn't have the traction they had 2 years ago. So when during my lead run, even though I was trying to go as fast as I can, I could feel that the car was losing traction, and because of that I had to just stay on gas less and pretty much drive slower, you know. Coming off the second bank, I was trying to slow down with angle, and when the car had a lot of angle, I was able to like stay on gas more, which created a lot of smoke, and I think a lot of smoke and me slowing down there threw him off his usual line, and he made a big mistake where he jumped in front of me pretty much. And at some point I was looking through my paces, and I was like just looking on my cones, and at some point I just see his car coming out of the smoke and just almost hitting me, you know. So at that point I just had there was no choice for me just to like hit the brakes and just steer away from him, and to save both cars, you know. This was a pretty big mistake, so at the end judges gave it to me, you know, which I was pretty excited, because even though I didn't beat him with like pure drifting and like an amazing, I didn't show anything amazing, but he made a mistake, and I hope he learns from that, and I definitely like took my lessons away from that too. Okay, so top 8 is over, onto the top 4, and in top 4 my buddy Rome is waiting for me, and it was pretty cool because he was 2 E36s, a 4-door versus a 2-door, both V8s, pretty similar cars, and he was leading because he qualified much higher. He qualified I think fourth or something, but he throws in hard. I was overexcited and overpumped, so I threw it way too hard, and right after the initiation I was like, oh shit, we're about to hit, because I mean I was just flying into him. Like I thought that's it, like all my drift life flashed in front of my eyes. My only goal was just brake. I pulled the e-brake, I hit the brakes as hard as I can to avoid hitting him, and that slowed the car down too much, and I straightened out, and I was pretty much driving straight, so I was like, well, I shouldn't even continue the run, you know, because keep in mind I was on these triangles for at least 5 or 6 runs at this point, and I knew the tires were dying, and maybe that was one of the reason why I was gaining speed so much on him, because the tires were just sliding too much. But I stopped my run because it was a 0, I straightened out, and I just mentally prepared for the lead run, you know. And Rome is very experienced, so he knew that I'm sitting on the 0. The only thing he needs to do is just have a solid follow run without any mistakes. So I had a pretty good lead run, and he had a safe follow run, I would say, and that was enough for him to get the win. And I was happy because he was in the final, I was cheering for him. Okay, so this was pretty much the end of the long weekend where I learned a lot, and the learning part is something I want to talk about, because I'm sure there are people that are thinking of doing something like this, and this is my reasons why I did it. Because going to a last event of a Pro-Am competition or any competition might seem silly, because there's no points to gain, you're not gonna get anything. But the way I think about it, you gain a lot, and this is what I gained from it. And I think the #1 lesson I got from this is, don't bring tires that you never drifted on, and especially don't bring tires that pretty much nobody ever drifted on, you know. This hurt me a lot, and if I had better tires I would be more confident, more consistent, and who knows what could have happened, right? So tires, bring trusted tires. Okay, lesson 2. Going to an event like this, you don't just get to drift, you get to drift with much more experienced people, and you get to communicate with with the judges, and the way I look at the judges, they're like teachers to me. I go there as much as I can, and I try to talk to them as much as I can. And I went to talk to the judges after I lost to Rome, just to hear their opinion, to hear them say, to confirm or contradict what I thought about the run. And one of the judges, Taka, he throughout the practice and throughout the practices, he kept coming to me and giving me advices and teaching me details about how to drift. And it wasn't just like, hey, you should be closer to the wall, or you should be faster here, or you should go wider here. Taka is experienced enough to look at your run and tell you what exactly to do. And in my case, because the way the track was set up is when you initiate, you are facing the judges instantly. And from that position, he was able to look me in the eye. Believe it or not, he was able to see where I was looking at. And what I was looking at was not where I was supposed to look at. When you initiate, when you drift, you're supposed to look where you want to go. And that was my probably biggest mistake when I was running the wall. Is as soon as I initiate, although the car was close to the wall, but as soon as I initiate, I was looking halfway through the corner, which will first, I can't see where the wall is, so I don't know how far away I'm from the wall. And second, I'm directing the car halfway through the turn, not wider through the turn, you know? So that was a huge lesson to me. The conversations that I had with Taka after they gave the trophies and everything was invaluable. And he said a few good things about me, but said more things that I have to work on, and I tend to focus on the things I have to improve rather than what I already did. So that was super helpful, and I can't wait to go back and drift and show him what I've learned and hear more feedback. Okay, the final lesson that I learned during that event is not so much about drift as about preparation, and it's pretty much your rest, your hydration, and your physical shape matters a lot. At the end of the comp day, I was physically and mentally exhausted, and I think if I was in better shape, I would have more energy to go and give it more at the track. And like, I think better tires and more energy, and I could have put a better fight for the top 3. Yeah, at the end, I mean, this whole thing was a learning experience. I went there to see where the track is. I went there to see what kind of people are there. I went there to see what I'm missing and what I have to improve. And even doing this video right now, I've never done this, so this is a learning experience. Everything about Pro-Am and Top Drift is a learning experience for me and for my team. So I did my best, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this, just don't forget to put the thumbs up, and I'm gonna try to do more of these videos, so hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.